On this episode of the Pep Talk podcast, I am challenging you to make some bold decisions in the new year. But first, have you had your dose of pep today? No? Don't worry. I've got you. Now let's go. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Yo, we made it. We made it to another year, and I am so glad that you're here with us as we chart the course for the new year. This is the Pep Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Coach Jay, a life coach in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and it is my privilege to come to you every week, and especially on this first day of 2024. To bring some pep to you, to cheer you on and to coach you up. That's the mission of the podcast, to cheer you on and to coach you up. And I'm just so glad to be here with you. If you're watching the YouTube, you see that there's a little bit of a difference with me. I shaved off the beard. The beard is gone for now. I just thought starting off the new year with something just fresh would be really, really cool. But it's the same old Coach Jay, still filled with pep, still filled with belief in you, and still filled with fresh hope for this new year. 2024 is going to be a great year. I was in a bookstore the other day, and the salesperson was like, a new year's coming. Are you looking forward to it, or is it like blah blah blah, same old? And I stopped and I thought about it for a second, and I said, I'm choosing to look at this new year with hope. I'm choosing to look at this new year with optimism. And that wouldn't have always been the case for me. I used to dread the start of New Year's just because I could always imagine, the boogeyman lurking just around the corner or in the dark closet, just waiting to, bam, just stop and surprise you with something new or something horrible for the new year. But I'm choosing, right? We are choosing to look toward this new year with hope, looking toward the positive things that are going to happen. And yes, are there going to be obstacles and pitfalls? Yes, there will be. However, we'll deal with them together, right? Because I got your back and I know you have mine. Uh, so I want to start this episode a little bit differently. Um, I got a rating and a review on Apple Podcast that just really touched me, and so I want to read it on the podcast, and then just say a couple of things about it real quick. So this is from Nicole the Pickle. So Nicole, if you're listening, I'm reading. Yeah, I'm giving you a shout out on the podcast, and the tagline says this quite simply: "You should listen." And here's what it says: "I'm a new listener, and I'm so happy I am now here. Coach Jay is not only motivating and insightful, but rooted in the belief that his listeners are capable of greatness. You can literally hear it in every episode, and not only is there truth in what he shares, but you honestly feel and know he's rooting for his listeners, including you. Add this podcast to your weekly regimen of self-care and self-improvement. You'll be very glad you did." Yo, first off, Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time to leave us a 5-star review and rating. And I guess what I really want to say about this is that I do believe in you. I couldn't do this podcast if I didn't. When I started this a year ago, wait a minute, today is also our 1 year anniversary. So we've been doing this for a year. I wish I had like an applause or a clap or something. This is celebratory. We have been doing this for a year. And for Nicole to leave that review and say that you can hear it in my voice, that I really have a belief in my listeners. I really believe in your growth. I really believe in your development. I really believe in who you are and what you are here on this earth during this time to accomplish. It's absolutely true. It is absolutely true. And so we've been doing this for a year, coming to you every week saying that we're going to be your biggest cheerleader, but we're also going to be your coach and we're going to challenge you to elevate. Why? Because I believe, that there is more for you to do. There is more for you to accomplish. And I believe that 2024 is going to be a banner year. It's going to be a banner year for you. But in order for that to happen, in order for that to take place, I believe that there are some bold decisions that we need to reconcile in our minds that we're going to take right now. Like starting today, on this first day of 2024, I believe that there are some bold decisions that we can make that are going to lead to some big results throughout this year. Now, I am not telling you that in making these bold decisions, everything is going to be honky dory. That this year is nothing. It's going to be nothing but everything's coming up roses. I'm not going to tell you that because that's not what I believe at my core. Okay, but what I do believe is that if we will make these bold, big, bold decisions today, no matter what comes our way as this year progresses, we will have made the choice to change some things. And those changes, born out of those decisions, are going to keep us going. They're going to keep us moving. They're going to keep us, they're going to help us to continue to win despite what comes at us in this year. And so, again, Nicole, I thank you for your rating and review. If you're still listening to the podcast, if this is your first episode, thank you for jumping on. If you've been rocking and rolling with us and haven't left a review yet, please consider doing that. Please consider leaving a rating or a review. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button and the notification button so that you don't miss anything that we post from the podcast to just, encouragement throughout the week just to keep you going. But I want to go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes for this episode. So, we're talking about making big decisions that lead to big results, right? So, here's the first big decision that I need you to make. I need you to make the decision that involves you choosing how you are going to see yourself. I need you to choose. How are you going to see yourself in 2024? And here's why that's important, okay? I can think of several times over the course of my life where I have looked at myself and I have chosen not to see the greatness within me. I have chosen to look at where I fall short. I have chosen to look at my shortcomings. I have chosen to look at my regrets. Facts. And I believe that me choosing to look at and identify with the worst parts of myself, that me choosing to look at and identify with the parts of my life that are not serving who I want to become and where I want to go, I believe that those have been some of the sources of some of the pitfalls and the downfalls in my life. Like I told you in the opening, I have not always looked at the first of the year and looked toward it with optimism. I, matter of fact, there have been several years where I looked at the year and I was filled with trepidation and fear and anxiety because I could look at who I thought that I was and I could see like, Jay, you're not measuring up. And so if you didn't measure up in 2020, if you didn't measure up in 2021, what's really going to change in 2022 to where you should all of a sudden become this optimistic and hopeful and faith-filled person? I can think of several different instances where you could have been that person, but you didn't. You made a different choice that led to a different result. Uh, you got the bad news and you ran from it instead of dealing with it up front. You ran away from it. So why should I choose to look at you any differently in a new year when 9 times out of 10 you're going to be the same person in this new year that you were in the old year? And I know that's resonating with someone. I know that it is. Because even as I look at 2024 and I'm like, who do I want to be in 2024? I look back at 2023 and I'm like, bro, you started a whole podcast and you were consistent and disciplined with it for the entire year. Let's just stop right there and pat yourself on the back. Because a lot of people started stuff in 2023 that they did not see through to the end of January, much less to the end of December. You went a whole calendar year, Jay. And every week you brought fire, you brought encouragement, you brought hope to somebody who needed it. We just read a review at the beginning of the episode. You did that for one person that you know of. And here's what I'm also not saying. I'm also not saying that there will be times where I may still run from a hard thing in 2024. But I'm making the choice today. I am making bold decision number one, that I am going to choose to see the best in me. I am going to choose to believe that I can be the best Coach Jay in 2024, a better Coach Jay than I've been at any point in my life so far. And I'm challenging you to make that choice too. I am challenging you to not make that decision in a vacuum, however. I'm challenging you to look back and to reflect on instances where you could have been better. And from those instances, I am asking you to choose to see yourself in the best light so that you can act in the best light for yourself. Now, what does that mean for you? If you're going to choose to be the best person that you can be, I believe that you're going to have to choose to invest in yourself. You're going to have to choose to get the therapist. Yes, yes, I believe in therapy. So you're going to have to choose to invest in the therapist. You're going to have to choose to invest in the life coach, the career coach, the personal development coach. You're going to have to choose to take the course, to enroll in the course. You're going to have to choose that not everybody is just out for your money, but there are people out there who are really wanting to see you elevate and to become the best version of yourself. So you're going to have to make the investment because you're going to have to believe that the return on the investment, the ROI, you're worth it. And that if you choose today to invest in yourself, and if you choose to back that up with action, because it's action over words at this point, if you will choose to see yourself in the best light, then you will choose the best things for yourself, which will lead to you, no matter what happens this year, you will have the backup behind you because you will have put your money where your mouth is, you will have put your actions where your mouth is, and all of that combined will help you to choose the best for yourself no matter what happens. And so I'm asking you to choose to look at the best parts of yourself and say, I'm choosing that part of me. I'm choosing to believe that I'm a dreamer. And my dreams are not just pie in the sky, but my dreams are accomplishable. My dreams are actionable. I'm choosing to believe that I am a creative problem solver. I'm choosing to believe that what I have to say deserves to be heard. I am choosing to believe. Come on, somebody. And I'm speaking to myself, but I'm speaking to you as well because you have to believe these things about yourself because if you don't believe them, you can't get mad when nobody else does. The belief that it's going to take for you to become all that you're supposed to become, for you to accomplish all of the dreams that you want to accomplish, the dreams, the belief that it's going to take, it has to come from you first. You have to be able to look at yourself in a mirror, in your phone camera, whatever. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, there, that looks like a person who is winning. That looks like a winner. That looks like a champion. That looks like somebody who is committed to the process. That looks like somebody who is committed to the growth. And you are that person. How do I know? Because you're listening to this podcast. And you're listening to me week in and week out tell you that if you don't believe, you can't get mad when nobody else believes because you don't believe. That's square one. That's the baseline. That is the foundation. You have to believe in you, and I'm begging you, I am imploring you, I am challenging you that the first big decision that you need to make in 2024 that will lead to big results throughout the year is you have to choose to see yourself in the best light. You have to choose to believe in yourself. You have to choose you. So you see all of the Instagram posts, all of the Facebook posts. What would your life look? How would your life look differently if you were to choose yourself? And you spent the first 6 months of the year choosing yourself. You were choosing to get the coach. You were choosing to meditate. You were choosing to pray and to journal, but you were also choosing to take action. What would your life look like in 6 months? What would your life look like in 30 days if you chose to do that? What would your life look like if you chose to read Atomic Habits by James Clear? Or anything by Bob Goff? Bob Goff is the dude. Or anything by Simon Sinek? Or anything by Jordan Rayner? These are just some authors who have been impactful in my life. What would your life look like if you chose you? And yo, that's not saying that you're not there and you're not supportive of other people. But here's what I'm saying. Somebody out there that is listening right now, you have spent your whole life putting everybody else's dreams, everybody else's vision, everybody else's personal development before your own. But how different would your life look if you chose to choose you? So that's big decision number one. Make the choice to see yourself. Make the choice to choose yourself. Make the choice to work on yourself. If you are willing to make that big, bold decision today, January 1st of 2024, I believe that the return on the investment is going to be immense. And it's going to blow your mind, the growth that will happen in you when you choose you. All right. The second big and bold decision that I'm asking you to make in 2024 is to choose your perspective. Choose your perspective. I am challenging you to choose the lens through which you experience life. I'm asking you to choose the lens that you interpret what happens to you and what happens around you. I'm asking you to choose. Okay? Are you going to live 2024 through the lens of a loser? What's the lens of a loser? Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is happening to me. Nothing good ever happens to me. I always lose. I never win on the scratch off tickets. I never win any of the contests. I never this, I never that. I can't believe that this bad thing happened. Blah 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 blah. The Charlie Brown voice. Blah, 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 blah. I can't believe that my life is like this. I can't believe that I can never catch a break. I can never find the right girlfriend. I can never be successful on the job. I don't measure up to everybody else. I'll never get into the program. I'll never figure out what my life is supposed to be like. I'll never this. Oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. No, 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 no. We're not doing that. We are not choosing to see 2024 through the perspective of the loser. Why? Because losers lose. That sounds so harsh. But losers lose. And I'm going to tell you how I know that losers lose. Because I used to consistently view myself through the perspective of a loser. And even when good things happened to me, I didn't think I deserved them. Matter of fact, I could overlook the good things and go straight in a beeline toward the bad things because I expected the bad things. I didn't expect the good things, so I didn't know how to process the good things. Why? Because my perspective, the shades that I wore were shades that gave me the perspective, the tilt, the filter of a loser. Oh, this podcast episode got 80 episodes. Oh, but wait, it's going to go back to 20. It's going to go back to 5. It's going to go back to 15. No, that's thinking like a loser. I got a scratch off ticket, didn't win. Oh, I didn't expect to win because I never win these things. No. Yo, take the shades off, take the filter off, take the lens off. Because I'm asking you to choose your perspective. And from where I'm sitting, we have two perspectives that we can choose to live this life through. We can choose to live life through the perspective of a champion, through the perspective of a winner, or we can choose to look at life through the perspective of a loser. And I can tell you that the way that you choose is going to influence the way that you think. It's going to influence the way that you act. It's going to influence the way that you believe. It's going to influence the way that you react. Because when things happen to you, when I told you what I believe, this year is going to require some persistence, some consistency, and some discipline. But those aren't bad things. This year is going to have some pitfalls. It's going to have some setbacks and some obstacles. It's going to have some walls to climb. But those are not necessarily bad things. Because when you look at life through the perspective of a champion, through the perspective of a winner, then what that means is that you are choosing to accept that within you is the potential to overcome. Because when you reach that wall, it's not, oh my gosh, why do I have to go over this wall again? Why do I have to climb it again? No, that's not what a champion does. That's not what a winner does. The champion says, okay, here's another wall. I know how I got over the last one. So because I got over the last one, then I can get over this one too. I'm just going to have to think about it for a little bit. Because what I did in the past may not work this time. So let's see what I can pull out of my creative brain. See, a champion, a winner, does not look at a setback as a downfall. A champion, a winner, looks at life, looks at situations as a setup. It's the law of the bounce. Ever heard the law of the bounce? Okay, so the law of the bounce simply says this, and this is from Coach Jay. The law of the bounce says that the farther I fall, the harder I hit, the higher I bounce back. So that means even if I find myself on a quote unquote losing streak, it's okay. Because I'm just gathering kinetic energy. Because as soon as that switch flips, I'm gone. I'm gone. And now all of a sudden, all of the momentum from my fall becomes the momentum for my rise. All of the pain, the hurt, and the heartache that I never gave into, I never let myself believe that the pain and the hurt and the heartache, that's life. No. I chose to see all of these things as all of these negative things are happening to me. It's just momentum for my bounce back. Come on, somebody. You need to look at your life and say, all the bad things that happened to me in 2023 is just providing momentum for me to bounce back in 2024. I believe it because I'm looking through the eyes. I'm looking at life through the mindset of a champion. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, he always says this, and I believe it. Winners win. Why do winners win? Because nothing happens in their life where they don't see themselves benefiting in the long range from it. You lose a job. Maybe that's not where I'm supposed to be in the first place. And I remember the first time I got fired from a job, I sent a text out to all the guys I know. Y'all, I just got fired. Pray for me. I'm a failure. I don't know what I'm going to do now. That's what I did. That's what I did. But no more. If the job doesn't work out, okay. What's next? It's momentum for me. The layoff happens, okay. It's momentum for me. I don't know where this is going to come from, but I need it, coach. I'm in the same spot that you are. There are things that my family, we need to happen. We call it Miracle Mountain. And we pray about Miracle Mountain all the time. We're like, God, here's Miracle Mountain. But the champion in me, the winner in me says, even though I don't see it right now, it is momentum. No matter how far I fall, I'm never out of it because the fall is momentum. Because I don't take L's, I don't take losses, right? I don't take L's, I take learning opportunities. So even when things don't work out the way that I want them to work out, even when things don't work out the way that you want them to work out, you're not losing, you're learning. Let's get that straight. Because you're not a loser. The Pep Squad, the Pep Talk podcast community does not consist of losers. If you're listening to this podcast right now, I'm going to say it, you're not a loser. However, you have to choose to adopt the perspective, the mindset, the filter, the lens of a champion, of a winner. Winners win because they expect to win, because they expect everything to work out in their favor, because they expect that no matter what happens in life, it's going to work out, it's going to be good, it's going to be redeemed for my good. Therefore, I can accept this discomfort for a while. I can accept this discomfort because while I'm feeling the discomfort, I'm looking for every opportunity to start the bounce back now. And somebody needs to internalize that. You need to make the big, bold decision right now that you're going to choose the right mindset, the right perspective for this year. Because we've chosen every other mindset. We have waffled between two mindsets. And let me tell you this, when you waffle between two mindsets, you are always the negative one. You can't keep crossing back and forth across the fence of life filter and perspective, because at some point you're going to get tired and you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the fence. That's why I am asking you to choose today, to choose this moment. As you're listening to this podcast, choose right now that no matter what happens to you this year, you're a winner, and winners win. Why? Because no matter how far you think you're falling, it's just momentum for you to boing, to bounce back. Some of us need the bounce back. And let me offer you some reassurance right now. It's coming. It is coming. It is coming. Nobody sits in seasons of learning every year of their life. We go through seasons where the bounce back is going to be beautiful. It's going to be high, and it's going to be bright. But then we have to go through another season of learning to prepare for the next season of bounce, because the next season of bounce is going to require more from us. So you see that when the obstacles and setbacks happen in our lives, it's not to break us, but it is if you look at life as a loser. But when you look at life through the lens of winning, you understand that when you go through learning seasons of life, when everything is not so bright and shiny and glittery, it's not to break you, it's to teach you. That's why we don't take L's. Life, we don't lose, we learn. And life is filled with learning opportunities that come at exact times when we need to learn something in order to elevate. So, the second big, bold decision I'm asking you to make again is to choose your perspective, to choose your lens, to choose the filter that you're going to live life through, to see life through in 2024. And I am daring you, I am challenging you to see life through the perspective, through the filter of a champion. Because you are a winner. You are a champion. Look at me. You are a winner. You are a champion. Say it out loud if you need to. I'm a winner. I am a champion. All right. Here's the last big, bold decision that I'm asking you to make. I want you to choose to not allow the desire for perfection to stop you from moving forward. That sounds kind of weird, right? Choose to not allow the desire for perfection to keep you hamstrung, to keep you stuck. And I think here's where I want to land with this. So many times we have these ideas, these plans, but we wait and we wait and we wait and we wait for perfection. We wait for everything to line up. We're waiting for the perfect person to come into our life with the perfect physique and the perfect, this and the perfect job. Okay. We're before we take that vacation, we're waiting for the perfect job, the perfect salary. Before we launch our business, we're waiting for the perfect season with the perfect partners. We're waiting for perfection. We're even waiting for perfection within ourselves. Yeah, I'm waiting until I lose X amount of weight, or I'm waiting until I have this amount of money in my bank account. I'm waiting on this, I'm waiting on that. Let's call it what it is. We are waiting on the perfect time, the perfect moment, the perfect situation, the perfect person, the perfect opportunity. And here's why I'm asking you to choose to reject that line of thinking. Waiting for perfection will always keep you stuck. The perfection does not happen at the beginning. It doesn't. The perfection is a process that happens in process. I'm gonna say that again. The perfection does not happen at the beginning. The perfection happens in the process, which means what? Which means that you have to be open to opportunities. You have to be open to relationships. You have to be open to your starting line not looking like the starting line that you imagined, that you envisioned, because it often won't. There are so many of you who have been waiting for the perfect opportunity, for the perfect moment, for all of your lives, but you haven't realized that in doing so, you've already crossed the starting line. You're just not running the race yet. Everything is ahead of you, but it's like you're caught up in a time loop. And so you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. Your life has already started. Your life has been going. Your life has been going, and against your will, you have been being drugged or dragged, I'm not sure, along because you didn't know that the race has started. Y'all, the gun has sounded. The crowd is cheering. But if you continue to wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, for the perfect anything, then you'll never get in the race. Then you'll never get in the game. And as we think about what this year could be, I believe that the best moments of this year are going to happen in the mess of imperfection that becomes perfected as you walk the pathway and the process toward it. Now, it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to look exactly the way that you wanted it to look. However, there is pleasure in being perfected. There's also pain in being perfected too. But there is pleasure in being perfected because you can see and you can chart the growth. And some of you have not given yourselves credit for the growth that you've already encountered, the growth that has already been happening in you because you're still waiting for the perfect opportunity to present itself. And I'm telling you to quit it. I'm telling you to stop it right now. Right now, 2024, we are not waiting on perfection. We're not waiting on the perfect moment to write the book. We're going to write the book anyway, and the book is going to be perfected as we write it. We are not waiting on the promotion at the job to be the best that we can. We're going to start the process now and be perfected in the process of growing in our jobs so that when the promotion happens, we're ready for it. That's why I told you back in 2023 to not wait until today to start your process of being better. Once you start earlier, you can start the perfecting process. You can start being perfected. You can start working the kinks out. 2024, we are not waiting for the perfect anything. In 2024, we're just moving. We are making moves. And I'm going to have an episode where I talk about making decisions and risks and all of that stuff. But for now, what you need to know, you need to choose to not wait on perfection. You need to choose to start. You need to choose to start. And I can think, man, it's just amazing that the first of the year, the first podcast of the year starts on the very first day of the year so that I can tell you, quit waiting on perfection. You need to just start and worry about the perfection happening through the process. Because it's going to look different than what you imagined. The relationship is going to look different than you imagined. The money's going to come to you in a different way than you imagined, but it's going to happen in a way that is going to be profitable for your outside and for your inside, and it's going to be perfected and profitable for the people around you, because we're not just doing it for ourselves, we're doing it for other people, right? Right. Y'all nodded your heads. I know I saw you. So the big, bold decision that we're making is we are no longer waiting on perfection. We are starting. We're starting. That's right. We're starting. You're starting. You're starting. Yes, you're starting. I see the light bulb going off. You're starting. I believe as we wrap this episode up, I believe that this is going to be the best year of my life. I believe it's going to be the best year of your life. And in that, I know that there are going to be some down moments. I know that there are going to be some moments where some tears are going to come, anger is going to come, heartache and heartbreak is going to come. There are going to be some painful moments. There are going to be some moments where you just don't want to get up and face it, but you're going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to face the pain because we're perfected in the process. And pain is inherent in perfecting, but it's okay because we're not running from it. Why? Because we're choosing how we see ourselves. We're choosing our perspective. We're not going to be losers. We're going to be winners. We're going to think like winners. Winners win, so that when we think like winners, we're going to believe like winners. We're going to work like winners. We're going to act like winners, right? And then we're not going to be choosing to wait for perfection. We're going to start now. We're going to move right now. We're going to move through the pain. We're going to move through all of the negative stuff. We're going to keep moving because we're winners, because we win, because we choose to see ourselves as champions and as winners. And you may need to listen to this episode again to get all of this. It's perfect. You may need to watch this video again to get all of this. That's perfect. But you also need to share this episode with somebody in your circle because they need this too. And we're going to be the rising tide that lifts all ships. So as we close this episode out, number one, thank you for spending your New Year's Day with me. Happy New Year, fam. I love you. I'm excited for what this year is going to bring for your life. I'm excited for the growth that we're all going to encounter over this year. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be just beautiful to watch and to behold. And as we look back over this year, when we get to the end, we're going to be like, wow, I'm different. I'm better. Because you can do this. And the process, the pathway, it's worth it. The pain is worth it. The perfecting is worth it. The shifting perspective, it's worth it. It's worth it. Why? Because you're worth it. Because you are worth it. So, happy birthday to the Pep Talk podcast. We're officially 1 year old. Woohoo! Yeah. But even more than that, we are in this together. And I believe in you. And I believe that great things are going to come from your decision to make big, bold decisions. I believe that you are going to do an amazing, it's just, I can't wait to hear from you because you're going to email me at thepeppodcast@gmail.com and let me know that you made these decisions, and you're going to let me know the results that have come out of them. You're going to do it. I know you are, because you know that I love